This has been Brode, and you're watching Born to be Wild.
Greeting, traveler.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone, and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, as always, Nate Wolf, and joining me today are two of my favorite people. Hydralisk, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm stoked it's Friday. I'm stoked for the weekend. I'm glad we're here doing the show.
Absolutely. And Mike Lowe, how are you? It's good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Same here. I'm glad it's Friday. Ready to do the show. Ready to kick it, hang back, talk some Paladin tonight. You feel me?
Absolutely. And would you please do the honors of introducing our guest tonight?
Oh, for sure. Everybody knows this person I'm about to introduce. Co-host of the Hero Power podcast. You know, the master of Ketchup Mustard himself. You know, leader of the Paladin Brotherhood that I'm a part of myself. I want to introduce a longtime friend of Uncle Zerotio. What up, Zeke?
Woo whoop.
What is up, gang? I'm so glad to be A, on Born to be Wild, and B, considered part of the Wild community. That's awesome honor. I appreciate it.
Yes, welcome. Very excited to have you here.
Well met.
Well met.
So for those folks listening or watching who are not familiar with you, number one, shame on you. Number two, do you mind doing just a real brief introduction? I mean, tell us maybe a little bit about yourself, how long you've been playing Hearthstone, how long you've been playing Wild, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I've been playing Hearthstone since beta. I've actually played Wild since its inception. I haven't always try-harded on Wild or pushed Wild Legend concurrent to Standard. Usually I regularly get Standard Legend just about every month. But there were some months I decided to take a break in Standard, and I would get Wild Legend. And then last year sometime I was like, why can't I do both? So I started getting double Legend about it once every 2 or 3 months. I get Standard Legend, then Standard and Wild together, and then I do Standard and Wild together. And I tried to hover in that rank 5 back before the rank changes. But then when they went to the new ladder system, I was like, I wonder if I can still double Legend. So I got the double Legend in preparation and got the max star bonuses. And then I was like, I just need to keep this up. So I shoot for that 10x every single month. I don't push high Legend in Wild because I'm not as good as the MTG Squirrels and the Doins out there. But because I'm good at Wild, but I'm kind of a one-trick pony in Wild. I tend to have a reputation of being an OTK guy, and that's where my bread and butter is. And up in the high Legends, it's hard to play OTK decks because they see it coming and they counter you really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started hosting the Hero Power podcast with a longtime friend from high school, Avantis, and a mutual friend, Versika. And that was about 5 years ago, and we're still going strong. I think we're up episode 230 something, 238 or something like that. So almost 5 years.
I have to say, you guys are definitely an inspiration, I think. In a lot of ways. Number one, you guys that's a beautiful shirt, Mike. You guys have been around for a long time, been a long time listener. I was had the pleasure of being a guest on your show a few years back, around the time they were doing a wild event, and it was a lot of fun. And after seeing what you guys did, it was, what's the saying? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right? So we have stolen kind of the idea of like a video show with the layout of the hosts and the co-op portion of the show. It's kind of stolen from you guys. I hope you don't mind, but
I don't mind because we stole the idea from someone else.
There you go.
The uniqueness of our show is the uniqueness of our show is we do an audio podcast for people to download on iTunes, the way people listen to podcasts. But we also do an extended video show that also includes a play portion. So we talk about news, we talk about our weeks, we push on some hot topics, which sometimes are a little too hot. Sometimes I push the envelope on what to talk about on this about the Hearthstone community. But then we talk about a different deck every week, and we break it down and talk about how, the strengths, weaknesses, mulligans, things like that. And then we end the audio portion and move on to a video portion that is us playing at least best of 3. So we try to get at least 2 games in, go 2-0 or 2-1, hopefully, to show the deck and how we would pilot it. Not that we're experts, but just kind of give that basics of the deck. But I took the play portion idea from the Hearthstone Power Hour, which was hosted by Blizz Pro's Twiz. And he ended up no longer doing that show. And I reached out to him and said, hey, do you care if I kind of adapt that idea for our show? And he was like, yeah, no, man, that's awesome. Take it and run with it. So that's kind of what we did. We took the conventional podcasts and then the video kind of tutorial coaching session and put them into one show. And that's kind of been our niche. No other podcast before us has done it. And you guys are pretty much the only ones that have done it after us for the wild. And we're honored to have that emulated because we thought it was a good idea. And it's nice to see other people and other people in the members of the community fostering that idea. So that's we don't mind at all.
I appreciate
it's pretty good. It's good market research.
It is. It is because the best way to learn a deck is to watch somebody play it. I know a lot of people link their replays on HS Replay, but I don't know about you guys. That's hard for me to follow.
Yeah, it's not quite the same as watching it and talking through it.
No,
it's just not quite the same.
I find I have to keep rewinding, to see like, okay, what exactly happened there, like over and over. It's too bad it's not in the client to actually have a replay. And
I wish it was because I play in THL. You guys talk about it on your show all the time. I've been playing. This is my 12th season in THL, and I record every single one of my matches. And I still use the HS Replay to upload to my team so they can critique it. But I watch the replays. I've got a 4 terabyte drive with just nothing but THL replays on it, and which I want to cut a bunch of those from the end of last year and just do a compilation of me OTK and people with Holy Wrath Paladin. But anyway,
that's
I
awesome.
digress. What I look at is what was my mouse doing when I was considering this action, or when my opponent was playing their stuff. Was I moving the mouse? Was I clicking on something? Was I looking at my cards? And that kind of, and what was their mouse doing? Which one of their cards were highlighting when I was making my play?
Yeah.
And these are things that it's not your normal, mindset when you're playing a game. And maybe it comes back from my Magic the Gathering days when I was on the Pro Tour for 2 years, where you would watch how they're looking at their cards, whether they move their cards in their hand. Where their eyes go in their hand. Does it keep going to the left side of their hand? Do they stack their cards all together, or do they fan them out? Just little things that you think you can't do in Hearthstone, but you still can if they emote at a specific time. Well, they think they either have lethal or you don't have a counter or something like that. So it's reading into those things. That's why I never squelch anybody, because an emote might tell you what they think you're either going to do or what they are thinking for their next turn.
And if we had actual full replays, you could be able to go back and watch those.
Yeah.
Like after your match. And it's kind of surprising to me because How long has the original StarCraft been out now? What, 21, 22 years? They had replays.
Yeah.
Like you could go and watch your match after it was over.
Oh yeah.
And it's been around for over 20 years. Yet Hearthstone doesn't have it.
My favorite thing to do is pay attention to my opponent, and I see it a lot in Wild too, where I'm playing somebody that doesn't have a golden hero, and I'll make a odd line of play, and all of a sudden I'll see my hero power light up, like they're hovering over my golden hero power.
Okay.
And it to me, they might be questioning, hey, why did he make that weird play? Well, he has a golden hero power, so he's got over 500 wins. So maybe they're contemplating, well, what could he be doing that I'm not thinking? And it's I hate to say the term next level, but that's the kind of thinking I do when I play.
Yes,
I try to think outside the box.
This
play
is
the player, not necessarily the game.
This is truly some next level stuff, and I wasn't planning on going down this road, but this is a really fun topic of conversation, right? There's something to be said for there's a whole like different level of psychology that you can use when you play this game. It's like, how long do I take my turns? Do I emote? If I've got 2 copies of the same card, do I play the one that I just drew, or do I play the one, that's been in my hand forever? And like, when you play the one that you just drew, you can, it's almost like, you can BM your opponent a little bit, like, oh, look at my lucky draw. Or
I always do that. Play the one I draw.
Sometimes it's right to play the one you draw. Sometimes it's right to play the old one, because because sometimes I'll draw the card I was planning on playing. I'll play the one I've had in my hand a while, and I'll hear them emote like, "Wow." Like, oh, he had it all along.
You had Brawl this whole time and didn't use it?
Then they'll play another card thinking, well, he doesn't have the other one, or he probably would have played it from the right side of his hand. Then I play it, and then either their portrait explodes because they concede, or they take a long rope, or, it's these little kind of mind games that you can play. It's not always the optimal way to play the game, but sometimes if you get if there's a little blood in the water, you kind of sniff it out, Obviously, if I see somebody that I know's a seasoned veteran and on the ladder, I know that stuff's probably not going to work. So I don't even dip into that bag.
It's interesting though, because sorry, Mike, go for it.
Now, I like what Zerotio explained. I was gonna say what he said. He's probably in a little different way, but he explained it differently. I like the strategy of what he explained. Like, for me, if it's like a card that's discovered or created by, if it's a card that's probably in a deck that's, popular, and the card is popular, and then I discover a second copy. So they're expecting, like you guys use Brawl, let's just use Brawl. They're expecting maybe, 2 Brawls in this certain warrior deck. But then when I discover that third one, they're playing all out once they see 2 Brawls, and they see two flurries and all these board clears, and now I discovered this one out of nowhere, and then now I got you because you dumped your entire hand, and now I got this Brawl created by whatever lackey. You know what I'm saying?
And conversely, you can do it the other way, where you play one from your deck, and then you discover one, but you have the second one from your deck. Most people will say never play the one you discovered, play the other one in your deck. But if you play the one you discovered, they're going to go, wow, they got that discovered from a discovery. They still have a third one in their deck. So then they're going to play hesitantly because they know you have that third one somewhere in your deck. So
like
you can kind of go both directions with it.
That's good pressure.
If you're not ready for them to dump down, then you play the discovered one, so they still fear that third one. Again, that goes into there's never a hard and fast rule. It's just whatever the situation is in that game. If that's your last board clear, you want to keep it a secret as long as possible. Again, a lot of people call that in control style decks playing greedy, but that's how I play. I play greedy. You asked me about myself. That's kind of, I just gave you a synopsis of how I play, and I play greedy control to OTK. That's what I did when I played Magic the Gathering back in the day under the moniker of Zero. And that's what I do nowadays.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm putting two and two together. Is that why we call you Uncle Zerotio? Zerotio? What? Is that it?
Exact.
Oh my god.
So when I was playing Magic Gathering, I got real famous. Well, famous. I was popular in our community for piloting zero casting cost decks with ornithopters and kobolds way back in the day. From like the Legend set. This is OG Magic back in third edition, fourth edition.
What year?
A 95 through 97
Okay.
was when I got that nickname. And then as I got older, Avantis used to like coach young kids into the Magic the Gathering Junior Pro Tour. And
Oh, wow.
so we had a lot of younger kids we were teaching to play Magic, and a couple of them got some scholarship money for winning tournaments. And they started calling me Uncle Zero because I was the old guy, and all my friends started calling me Uncle Zero. And then when I was playing Hearthstone, I was under Zero, and I had a couple people friend me saying, "Hey, are you the guy that got owned by so and so in this YouTube video?" And I'm like, "No, okay. There's way too many zeros out there." So I decided to change it to Zerotio, which is like a soft T, which is zero Tio. Tio is Spanish for uncle, so it's a rough translation for Uncle Zero.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah.
That's one of the better name stories I've heard.
I
That
agree.
is great.
I like that.
I like
So
that.
if you look on
Good
Twitter,
stuff.
my Twitter name it's at Zerotio, but my name is Uncle Zero because it's the rough translation.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Oh man, I love it. I love it.
A little background from that is I grew up in with a Spanish side family. I had my godfather was Spanish, so I kind of grew up with my uncle, who was my godfather, and his family. My parents were over the road drivers, so a lot. When my young age, I was kind of part raised by my mama Mendoza in a Spanish society. I'm bilingual and kind of have a little
cool.
Spanish culture mixed in. That's my favorite food taste, stuff like that.
Me
So,
too.
That's why I kind of took the Tio, because in the Spanish culture, to be called Tio is very, it's honorable. It's not always just a blood uncle. If someone calls you Tio, they consider you family.
Yeah.
Someone
yeah.
to look up to. So
Where you live right now? I mean, I don't need like your street name, but like what state are you in?
I'm in
It's
East
like-
Tennessee. Yeah.
Okay.
I was born in the Chicagoland area, and then we kind of migrated to Tennessee. My dad was a truck driver, and he was kind of running from it was during the times of the trucker union strike, and my dad refused to strike, or he wasn't part of the truckers union, and he was considered a scab, and the union kind of told him, "Hey, you want what's best for your family?" Listed off all our names, our names and locations and ages. And my dad had us in Tennessee in 24 hours, my mom's family, and I've been here
Wow.
ever since, other than in my adulthood. I joined the military and did a lot of travel, but I came back to East Tennessee.
Wow.
That's crazy.
On a lighter note, I'll sympathize with you a little bit. I grew up in Southern California. Growing up, my best friends were always Mexican, and so I have this deep love of the culture, but the food. My God, the food.
Oh yeah.
And for a long time, I worked in downtown Santa Ana, and man, we had the good food everywhere. And then what is it now? It's been 5, 6, 7 years. Moved over to Portland, Oregon, and bro, there is no good Mexican food here, and it just doesn't exist. I mean, there's some, but it's not the same as we had in Southern California, man.
East Tennessee surprisingly has a lot of good Mexican restaurants because there's a lot of canneries in East Tennessee, and a lot of the Mexican families have migrated here for that. So we have a lot of local carnicerias that, they're just little convenience stores, but they also have a little Mexican restaurant inside of them, and those are my favorite places to eat. You get authentic quesadillas and authentic enchiladas and stuff like that. It's
Oh,
great.
enchiladas! I love enchiladas.
I don't get homesick very often, but I'm feeling it right now.
And growing up though, my mama does. She when you say something bad or you speak out of line, everybody's gotten the soap in the mouth treatment, right?
Yep.
Not
Yeah.
my mama. My mama would take a black pepper right off the vine, cut it in half, and go come, 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 and you had to lick it and stick it in your mouth. The problem with that is there's two sides of a cut pepper, so you got in trouble, and whoever was closest to you.
Also,
So you
got in
always
trouble.
do. You also do who. You always knew who got in trouble because the minute they do something, all the kids would scatter away from that person. So it was growing up in that culture was a lot. And I'm from a very big family. My parents fostered kids for a time. I lived in a school for boys with my parents and my sister, who was like 1 at the time. So I have 27 brothers of varying ethnicities
wow.
and ages. So
That is amazing.
and most of them were troubled teens going through drugs and juvenile systems, and they were in and out of gangs. So they were most of them were troubled teens, and growing up I got to see those troubled individuals. Again, I was very young, develop into older brothers that loved and cared for me.
Well, good for your parents for doing all that work. That's not
Honestly,
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of an inherited trait. My grandmother had 42 kids. And of her 4 biological, her oldest had 4 heart surgeries before he was the age of 14. So she still found a way to. She had 4 biological, 22 adopted, and 16 foster kids through her whole life. So we've always just been a big family, and you always share the love. Family is not always the blood that's in your body. That's just how we've always seen it.
Mm-hmm. That's really, really cool.
Gonna tear up a little bit. I appreciate that though. I mean, I think that's incredible. No joke, man. That's something special right there.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that art piece behind you?
Yeah, actually, it's Sylvanas before she took the undead curse, and then you'll notice that one. That's pretty obvious. Thrall. They're just prints. They look like I work for a print company.
Oh, okay.
So somebody took some of the art and through their Photoshop magic turned it into sketches, and he was doing some test prints on a solar printer that uses ultraviolet lights to print what would look like hand drawn sketches onto parchment or onto like stock paper, and those were a couple test runs he tested, and I was new to the company, so he knew I played Hearthstone and was into World of Warcraft and that kind of stuff. So he just found 2 images for me.
Well, that was nice. They look really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The company I work for has some great technology. We actually print images right onto knife blades and things like that with the solar printer. So it's pretty cool. It's a neat job. I'm not an artist, by trade, but I work in the IT department, so it's kind of cool to have connections there.
Born to be wild knives incoming.
I'm looking for a new knife. This is a good idea. I actually lost my favorite knife that I've had for how old am I? I don't know. I've had it for like 15 years.
Old enough to forget.
Old enough to forget.
we do a lot of handle printings and stuff for the Frost Knife Works, as well as we print. Again, these aren't knives that are used often. They're decorative knives, but images printed right on the blade.
Super cool. I want one.
Speaking of those, just as a side note, so I've got my office here in the loft of our townhouse or condo or whatever it is, and I've been thinking about redoing it. I got some shelves recently and looking to. I'm probably gonna. I use a green screen right now, but I've been thinking about copying our friend Electric Sheep City I'm putting up kind of like a display case behind me. I was thinking about painting the wall this weekend, putting up my shelves and stuff. And so I've been looking for things to get on the shelves. And I was looking on Amazon, looking on eBay for Hearthstone or Warcraft related stuff. And speaking of knives, like you can get life-size copies of Frostmourne, life-size copies of the, what is it, Uther's sword called? Is it Lightbringer or Tyrion's sword? I mean, Ash. Yeah.
Ashbringer, yeah.
And to get like a life-size, like, oh my God. I mean, I'm a little intimidated, and I don't want to spend $200, but
you're dropping close to $300 on a lot of those replicas, but they're good quality. I've actually handled some of those and known some people that have gotten them, and they're definitely good quality.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. So.
I actually I work for an instrumentation company. We've got a full machine shop, and one guy at work made his own Arcanite Reaper, and it is super cool. Yeah.
We need to see pictures.
Yeah, I'll get them. Yeah, he made his own, and it's awesome.
So you guys have people at work that work with you that play Hearthstone or play WoW or something?
He's actually a streamer who plays vanilla, like classic WoW.
Oh, okay.
And he actually does quite well doing it. He streams like 5 days a week kind of thing.
Wow.
And he does it after work, yeah. So he works all day long, and then he goes home, and then he usually comes on like 7 p.m. and streams till about midnight.
Yeah, we have a lot of gamers at my company. We have a lot of art, like people that manipulate photographs and stuff, a lot of artists. And a lot of them are really big in the games. We have a couple Hearthstone players, mobile gamers, console players. My boss is a big Skyrim buff. But he understands my love for gaming. I'll tell him, I was like, hey, I got to cut out early today. I'm going to cut out at lunch and head off. He's like, yeah, you got something going on? I said, yeah, I got an appointment. He's like,
that's the code name.
He's like, when's the next Hearthstone set come out? I'm like, yeah, today. He's like, yeah. So whenever I say I have an appointment, just a generic appointment, he knows what's up.
That's amazing.
Like the whole company knows it too. They're like, you take it off? Yeah. You have an appointment? Like, yeah, I got an appointment. And they some of them follow my stream, and they'll know I'll fire up the stream and because I don't stream often, but whenever a new set comes out, I'll usually stream for a couple days to kind of show off the new cards or open packs, stuff like that.
Oh man, that's good stuff. All right. Well, before we move on into the show, I do want to take a quick pause and say thank you to our patrons, particularly to Shokunin, who is the executive producer of our show. Thank you so much for supporting us and for just all that you do to keep the lights running and the website bills paid. We really appreciate it, and so thank you very much. If anyone listening or watching is interested in supporting the show, you can check us out on our website, which is borntobewildhs.com or patreon.com/borntobewildhs. I don't want to turn it into a thing, so I'm just going to move right along. But thank you all very much for what you do.
Yes, thank you.
There is one question that I wasn't asked that I
yes,
about. The famous Danny Donuts question.
Oh yeah. Well, you know,
I'm a huge purveyor of mac and cheese.
Okay.
I have eaten so much mac and cheese, and I haven't been asked the Danny Donuts question.
Danny's not here right now, but I'd be happy to ask, do you eat your mac and cheese with a fork or with a spoon? Or do you just use no utensils at all and just use your mouth?
Sometimes, yes. Like an ice cream cone, just no, I don't use a fork or a spoon. I use a metal spork.
Oh, you had this planned, my friend.
No, this thing is always on my desk. It's actually the
Is it a pen?
No, it's the sonic screwdriver for Doctor Who.
Wow.
It's a metal spork. I have always been a lover of sporks. I would always steal as many as I could from the KFC or the Taco Bell back when I was in high school. I just loved to eat with sporks. I thought they were the great. To me, they're the second best invention next to Velcro. So everybody loves Velcro. Come on, man. But yeah, that's my thing. I got a metal spork. It's pretty much my utensil every time I eat with it, and then when I'm done eating, I wash it and I put it on my desk for whatever comes across next.
That's a beautiful thing.
Doctor Who spork. Nobody has used that answer, I think.
Hey, I'm the 1%er right there.
Gotta start keeping a Google spreadsheet of these answers.
Shout out to Danny Donuts for that one. His famous question.
Man. That's good. That's good.
Okay,
right.
well, at this point, we like to just, talk about our week, see how everybody's doing, how's it going. Nate, what has been going on with you? What have you been up to?
It's been interesting out here. I'm in Oregon, right outside of Portland, and the entire state is on fire at the moment. And so,
Man.
it's not good. Like where I'm at, we're safe. There's no issues, but, like the sky outside the last few days is just like red or orange. You can't see anything. There's cloud, there's, ash everywhere in the sky. It looks like, the sky the last 2 days has been like pumpkin orange all day long. It's completely bizarre. Fortunately, we're safe. I don't have to evacuate. I don't have to really do anything aside from, kind of be on the lookout. But it's been weird. Zerotio and I were talking about this online a little bit also because the holiday on Monday has like thrown off this entire week for me because I had Monday off work. Yeah. And so I've been a day behind all week. And like even today feels like a Thursday to me, not a Friday. And so I'm just, I'm a day behind on everything. So
it's weird. It's weird how a 4-day work week can somehow feel longer than a 5-day work week.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I work for the government. I work for the court system. And, unfortunately what happens to us with holidays is that we pay for them. We get the day off, but then it doesn't change the amount of work. It's just now we've got 5 days worth of work in 4 days. And so it doesn't it's not like, oh, cool, we all get a day off. It's like, oh man, Tuesday's going to suck. And, it's fine. It's fine. All in all, it was a good week. The Wild Bundle came out. I didn't need any of the cards, but what I've been trying to do, Shokunin and I talked about this a little while ago, and rather than get jammed up at the end or like when a new set comes out and then have to shell out a bunch of money out of nowhere, every time I get a paycheck, I'll stash a little bit away worth of like Blizzard gift card or whatever you call it, store credit. So that when it's time for a new set, like I don't have to come up with a few $100 out of nowhere. Like I've got some sitting there. And so I had a little bit in there and the Wild Bundle came out. And so I used my store credit to get it, even though I didn't need the cards. I came out with a pretty good haul. Unfortunately, I think Gold Daniel stole all my luck because he pulled 3 Golden Legends and another 3 or 4 like non-golden, which is absolutely gross. I pulled 3 regular Legends, and then I pulled about maybe 10 or so gold cards that I didn't have, which was pretty cool actually. And then the nerfs went through on Tuesday that we had talked about last week. I had been waiting on dusting any of my cards, waiting for the nerfs to go through. And so they finally pushed through and I hit that dust button, had like 30,000 dust or something gross like that. Ended up crafting a whole mess of golden cards, which is probably a bad habit, but Golden Leroy, Golden Kingsbane, Golden Lorekeeper Polkel, Golden Patches, pretty much made a Golden Kingsbane deck, which is I might regret later, but probably not.
So, hey, none of those golden cards you said make other golden cards.
That's true. That's true.
Well, hold on. The Kingsbane dies and it goes back into your deck and it comes back as golden over and over and over.
Yeah, the golden Kingsbane's like having 12 golden Kingsbanes in your deck. I mean, if you're doing it right.
Hearthstone logic.
I've been buying these. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Zerotio, you probably know because you've been to the conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
Cute but deadly, the little figurines.
Yes.
Okay, so I haven't been getting. I know they make them for Overwatch and Warcraft and all of those. So I started.
I got so many of these things.
Oh yeah. They're so cute. Like I wanted something for the shelves behind me that wasn't going to be. I don't know. I wanted something that I've got a. My son's 8, and I didn't want anything that was going to be like scary or I don't know, whatever. So these were kind of fun, but I thought, oh man, some of these are really old. Like if I'm going to try to get these, I'm just going to get the Warcraft ones, and I'm going to start with the ones that are hard to find because like the longer I wait, the harder they are going to be to find. Yeah. And so that's kind of what I bought first. And dude, some of them are expensive. My goodness. But like I got this little dude right here, the shadow form Illidan. It's pretty cool.
Oh wow,
that's a good one.
Glow in the dark. I got the packaging for him.
That's cool. I see that. Okay.
They made a few that were like BlizzCon or Comic Con. I mean, exclusives, and some of those are a little hard to find, but they're cool. So I've got them slowly trickling in the mail. Anyways, enough about me, but it's been a long, strange, interesting week, but overall good. We'll talk about the meta and our kind of what we're playing and seeing later, but that's me.
Good. How you doing, Mike? What's going on? How's your week in Hearthstone going?
That's going pretty good. Been doing some practicing for THL, trying out different decks. Of course, the nerf changed up what I thought the lineup was going to be. I didn't think they were going to nerf Dark Glare for a while, so I just assumed the lineup would be, obviously everyone brings Dark Glare, and then Raza Priest, and then you just filling around that. So switched it up from there. So my lineup this week, I got Q Block, but it's a Chinese Q Block list. It runs the Darkness, and it runs Prince Talderon. Yeah.
I've seen that list. That's a pretty spicy list.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I've been playing it. I like it a lot.
I've been looking for an excuse to play that card.
I got it for you. I'll put it in Discord.
Cool.
That's a fun one. I opened a Golden Darkness a long time ago.
Yeah,
Never seen play.
Never seen play.
Pretty much, but
Darkness is like a low-key way to kind of counter Reno decks.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
With an upside. Obviously, you have bombs, but sometimes you can't get those bombs really going. But Darkness, turn 4, you can shuffle 3 in there, and boom, you've killed them before they can even get to Reno. So it's low-key good. I mean, even if he doesn't ever pop out, you've got those 3 cards in there just disrupting their deck.
Dude, this week I was playing mostly playing Odd Warrior and some Kingsbane. I had someone a bunch of these games go to Fatigue, and I had one game go to Fatigue, and then my opponent had waited until there was no cards left in my deck. Then he plays the Darkness, shuffles in 3 candles, and then next turn, like I drew all 3. He's got a 20/20 on board. I had so much armor that I shield slammed it and I killed it,
but you had to waste a shield slam.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. But it's interesting tactic for sure, and I've seen especially with the Dark Glare nerf, Reno Priest is probably tier 1 right now. It's a very good deck. I don't think that it's necessarily super easy to pilot optimally, but I've seen people starting to tech in weird things like that. Rogue has been teching in Beneath the Grounds to mess with the Reno decks, and I don't know. It's interesting. That's an interesting tech choice for sure. I'd like to see that list as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say to round out my week, because of that nerf, a lot of decks I was playing before, like the style play to me, it wasn't working because of the decks that are there now. So I've been trying out some Jade Druid. As much as that irks me, it's pretty good. you can get like 70 armor by turn 6. Like sometimes it's frustrating if you draw a Vargoth because you don't get him off the Oaken summons, but then sometimes you can play Vargoth and then they don't kill him, and then you can play Oaken summons, get 12 armor off of that, and then play the branching paths. A lot of the times I'll hit it for 12 armor, and then the Vargoth gives me 12 more armor, and it just gets out of control. So that deck's pretty solid. I've been trying out Odd Warrior. I've never really played it before. It feels new to me, so it's still like kind of like shiny and cool. I like it a lot though.
I struggle to stay awake while playing it, but it beats up the aggro decks pretty hard.
Yeah. They concede the I queued into a couple of Odd Paladins. Instant like Zerotio said. The portrait exploded. It was awesome.
That's my favorite part of playing Odd Warrior is those turn 1 concedes. The minute they see Baku and they're just like, nah, I'm done.
It's dope. But yeah, it's been a good week. I got a deck I'll talk about when our next segment comes up.
Right on. How about your Zerotio? What have you been up to this week?
Very similar to, obviously a lot of Hearthstone, but similar to Mike Lowe, I actually play in Legacy Standard Series for THL, but this is my first season in the Wild THL series. So our team is sitting on top of the blue division right now. We're the only undefeated team. We've already got a win this week, so I'm hoping to pull the win myself. I decided to dip into my bag of tricks this week. Last week I played a little odd lineup that was not necessarily all Zerotio, and I wasn't able to pull the win the way I wanted. I got a 1-3 loss. But this week I went straight up OTK and playing a lot of. I'm playing a Bomb Warrior with the Iron Juggernaut tech in it.
That's one of my favorite cards.
Finally.
You guys are talking about it on the. I was actually catching up on my podcast and listening to last week's episode with MTG Squirrel, and I was like, oh, Iron Juggernaut, that's my deck. It's
yeah,
and I don't mind talking about it because deck lists are open right now. So I know what my opponent's playing too, but I'm running the Iron Juggernaut list because Bran and the Iron Juggernaut is just it's
dude. I've made that joke before, and I was like, what about Iron Juggernaut and a bomb deck? I was like, never mind, it's a mine, it doesn't count. But Zerotio said, no, I'll play it.
It does count. If you shuffle 2 in there, it still counts. But I mean,
it just doesn't count towards Dr. Boom. But
yeah, it doesn't count towards Dr. Boom, but that's 10 damage.
Count towards lethal.
Yeah, counts towards lethal.
It definitely counts towards lethal. And then of course I'm rocking my OTK Paladin decks. Like we're going to play some of this in the second half of the show. I'm known in THL back from last year as being a Holy Wrath savant. I whisper sweet nothings in Uther's ear, and I convince him to just put that Holy Wrath on top of that Shirvala on top of my deck of 17 cards. That's just how I roll. I love decks where I can just go, YOLO, let's see if I win, and I just do.
You sound like Ben from work.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
One of my notable victories was I had 17 cards in my deck and a Holy Wrath in hand, and they had 27 health, and I had to draw. No, it was 13 cards in my deck. I'm sorry. I had to draw and not draw Holy Wrath or Shirvala. Okay, so I had to dodge the 2 in 13. So I drew no Holy Wrath, no Shirvala. Then I had to Holy Wrath their face, and I had to hit the other Holy Wrath. So I had to hit the 1 in 12. And if I hit Shirvala, I couldn't have won. So I Holy Wrath faced. I hit the Holy Wrath, did 5 damage, put him at 22. So then I had to play that Holy Wrath and hit the Shirvala, which was 1 in 11, and I hit it and I won.
Oh my god!
My THL
Please tell me
opponent,
you bought a scratch ticket right after that.
my THL opponent literally, like, I queued up for the next game, and I'm like 2 minutes goes by. I'm like, let's go. So I was like, is everything okay? And he gets a message. I need to walk around a minute. And then, so 5 minutes. 5 minutes goes by. And he finally comes back. Okay, I'm ready for the next game. So
Oh my god! How much did you have to pay Ixar or Ben Brode for that luck?
See, that's the thing I love about Holy Wrath. You just get yourself I love Dark Glare because it's just like they're like hitting their face.
Yeah.
And I'm getting low, and I'm like, you know what? They're at 6 health. I'm just going to Holy Wrath their face and see if I can hit one of my big cards.
You know what, though? There's something to be said about... Okay, I mean, this is maybe... I'm going down a rabbit trail, so stop me if I go too far. But there's something to be said about kind of identifying your particular like pocket meta or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And you make the deck choice based on that. And so, it worked pretty well for me and for you guys as well. Like, we start seeing Dark Glare is, the current crazy deck, and everybody's running it. And so what counters that? And so I start playing Odd Warrior. Mike starts playing Secret Mage. Anything that, like, they get their health super low. Like, man, I love to see that. I've been playing Kingsbane. Like, I'm gonna sap you and hit your face for 15. I mean, and so I think that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No,
okay.
Go for it.
I was just gonna say my Holy Wrath list runs Shirvala and 2 Molten Giants, and I run Uther in there too because he's a good health swing as well as removal, as well as being 9 mana. So I actually hard mulligan for a Holy Wrath and timeout.
Okay.
Because I let them do whatever they're going to do, and if I can just on turn 3, I time out. Turn 4, time out. Turn 5, I just point a Holy Wrath at their face and pray. And a lot of times I win because I just
awesome.
hit one of those big because they get themselves down to like 6, 7 health, so low, and they're like they ain't going to come over the top. But my love is actually the Uther OTK. That's my favorite card is Uther the Ebon Blade, the hero card.
Oh, and, I wish they would revamp that animation. I wish there was more like oomph to it. It's just kind of like
they did.
They did?
They did. Yeah. It used to be the snowballs would hit their face and then they explode. Well, now you have little silhouettes of ghosts that come out. It's very subtle, but it was improved. They did that about the end of last year, but that was my biggest complaint is the whole little pew anime. I think Trollden did so many videos where there were Uther OTKs and they would just go pew, and that was it.
Well, it's a little anticlimactic, right? I mean, especially after seeing something like Mechathune,
But if you look
like
at it
Cataclysm is like so crazy, like so much like molten fire coming down. Like I expect the 4 like apocalypse, like these guys coming together. Yeah. Like I want like the whole board to explode or something. I don't know. Like
I love like silhouettes rise up off the cards and charge at them instead of
something.
I always call them snowballs because it looks like they all just throw a snowball at them because it's a little white trail.
You guys, you ever watch like Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
So this reminds me of like Kid Buu and the Gotenks when they had the spirit ghost when they spit out the ghost. That's what I think of Dragon Ball Z. Like this is so like anticlimactic. Like this grind to get the 4 dudes on the board, and then it's just like pew.
they did add the little ghost silhouettes that rise up out from behind the portrait after it cracks. So
okay, I'll have to see it again.
It's still not as big, but it's maybe we'll see it tonight. But I love OTK decks. I also made a name for myself by having a OTK. Well, it was more like kind of like a 2-turn kill. Shirvala. Shutterwalk. It's Shutterwalk's like my shirt. You play Shutterwalk after you've played the Coppertail Imposter, which is the mech that has stealth,
Mm-hmm.
And you play Omega Defender, which is the one that gets plus 10 attack for
If you've got 10 mana, right?
having 10 mana.
Yeah.
And then you can put other things in there too. But basically, you get a gigantic stealth Shutterwalk on the board that they can't interact with.
Oh, okay.
Unless they have just board-wide stuff like Twisting Nether or something like that. And then you just put Wind Fury on it and kill them next turn.
That's funny. Last week, MTG was joking about that card was made for him, with him and all his kids.
Yeah.
But this card is actually in your it's in your combo. That's crazy.
It's in my actually last year I actually won a THL match with that combo. So that's kind of my bread and butter is finding OTKs. And standard right now there just aren't any good OTK decks. So if I want to play OTK, I've got to come to Wild. So that's why I love Wild so much, is because I can play Mechathune, I can play Uther.
It's where to be.
Crazy Shutterwalk combo decks.
There's
but Paladin's kind of my go-to.
Yeah, there's a pretty spicy Mechathune Rogue going on right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it. So the combo is you play, what is it, Anka or something like that, the one that reduces.
Yes.
The only Death Rattle card that you play in your whole deck is Mechathune.
Mm-hmm. It happened to me this week.
Yeah. So this is great, right? It happened to me, and then I friended the guy, and we chatted for a little while, and
I wanted the deck so bad, and he never accepted it.
Oh man, I have it. I'll send it to you. I had somebody send it to me, and it's a blast. So here's how it works: the only minions in the deck are minions that draw cards, or I think this version also ran 2 Wild Pyromancers, and so I think Witchwood Piper is the one that draws cards, also your lowest cost card. And then it ran Lorekeeper Polkelt. So if I play Lorekeeper Polkelt, it's automatically going to pull Mechathune, and then it's going to pull Anka, and then it's going to pull Myra's. And so here's the combo, right? I play Anka. It puts the Mechathune down to 1. And then the cards that I need in my hand, I need a Secret Passage, I need a Wild Pyro, I need the Mechathune, and I need one other spell. So once you've got those, you play Myra's Unstable Element, destroy your deck. And then there's two ways that you can go about this. I can either play Mechathune and play the Broom whatever card that gives your other cards rush, whatever it's called.
The Nimbus 2000.
Yeah, exactly. And then I can play. There's some weird interaction with Secret Passage, where essentially I can kill these 2 cards and then play Secret Passage, and the cards for a second are gone out of my deck, and then it triggers Mechathune before the cards come back.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
It's very weird. And then the other,
you empty your entire hand into the Nether that is the Secret Passage.
right?
And you draw, since you don't draw the cards, it replaces your hand with. Well, now it'll be 4 cards with the most recent nerfs. So you don't take any fatigue damage. So basically, you replace your hand with 0 cards because you have no cards in your deck. And then when Mechathune blows up,
right. The other way that you could trigger it is I play Wild Pyromancer, I play a spell, whatever it is, to get 1 tick off of it, so it's down to 1 health. Then I play Mechathune, which is a 1/1, and then I play Secret Passage, and it kills everything, and you get the OTK from that as well. That version for me using with Wild Pyro was easier, but God, it's so fun. I don't suggest laddering with it, but if you're like at a rank floor, it does super well against control decks. The earliest I played it was on turn 6 to do a full combo. Maybe it was turn 7 because it was. I think if you can Anka on 5, Myra's on 6, you can combo off the next turn.
That's early to combo.
For Mechathune, it's really early, but if you're facing a lot of aggro, like you're just gonna die.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, Sorry, I got sidetracked, but
No.
I love the OTK stuff. It's a
and
blast.
see, that's why I like OTK so much, because you can't talk about an OTK deck without having these kind of stories, and that's what I loved about Magic the Gathering, and now I love about Hearthstone, and that was pretty much my week. I played a lot of OTK. I got up to Diamond 5 because that's my first couple days of the month, or the first weekend in the month. I just go Diamond 5 Standard, Diamond 5 Wild, and then I prioritize based on my needs. We were on a bye week for Legacy, which is Standard. So I focused all on Wild this last week because I didn't have to prep for Standard. So I did a lot of testing with Wild, which means I stay at the ranked Diamond 5 floor because I'm just playing goofy decks and
Best place to be.
I'm not really worried about winning. I'm more worried about learning the deck.
Yeah.
Because practicing on ladder, you're not going to face the decks that you're going to play in a conquest format.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But a lot of people say there's no real use practicing on ladder. No, that's not true. There's getting that muscle memory.
Yeah.
Even if you lose, if you go through the motions of, well, next turn I would have pulled off my OTK and this is how, then you learn something new, or you figured it out. Like I'm playing an OTK Antonidas build that basically does the Zerotio combo without relying on quest or anything like that.
Exodia Mage is, I think, me and Mike's favorite deck of all time.
It's tricky.
Oh yeah.
So you get Uncle Tony out.
Uncle Tony.
All the girls, and last spell you play gets you a free fireball, and you just fireball like crazy. So.
Yes. Oh, hey, one thing before I forget, Mike's shirt reminded me, and Zero's Shutterwalk shirt reminded me. I was telling you guys about it last week, but it was in the wash. But those guys who are listening to the show won't be able to see. But check this out for anybody who's watching.
See, Nate standing up. Always got a blue Born to be Wild shirt. I like that.
White silhouetted.
Blue
I
and
like
white.
that lettering. Yeah.
Looking beautiful.
Yeah, God, I love
Nice
how it turned
blue
out.
and white like Duke.
It you can
that's kind of like a Duke color scheme going. I like that.
Yeah, it looks great.
Is that foosball?
Foosball.
Foosballs for the devil, Bobby.
No, that's a great.
Bobby, it's a college. So.
The shirts you can get the logo in black, you can get it in white, and then basically on any color. So, sorry for spamming the merch, but it reminded me of that, and I just love how it turned out. I was so happy.
That looks
that
sweet.
up. No, but other than that, I've just been kind of engrossing myself in Wild and making sure that I'm ready for THL. And
Nice.
The meta has really changed because now that Dark Glare with the nerfs happening, Dark Glare Warlock is essentially dead.
Right.
In Wild, that is. Then all the crazy decks are coming out to play.
Yeah.
All the slot control, all the OTK decks, all the combo decks, all just the wild and crazy decks are coming out, and man, it's a difficult, frustrating time to play in Wild, but it's good because I'll sit down and play 10 games and play against like 8 or 9 different decks.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, let me jump.
Wild just feels fresh.
I agree. I want to jump back real quick on something that Zerotio just said. This came up a long time ago when I was years and years ago when I was still trying to hit Legend for the first time. And I had asked somebody, how do you do it? Or what is your magic advice? And the advice that I got was like, he had hit back with like a Aviana Kun combo druid. I think it was Mali Druid or something. But the advice was, hey, I stopped trying so hard, or I stopped worrying about my rank, and I just tried to learn the deck. Like learn the interactions with my own cards, learn the matchups, and like just get really good at my own deck. And once I started focusing on that instead of trying to focus on my rank, like it really improved the gameplay. And so what Zerotio was saying about, hey, you spend the time really trying to, just figure out how your deck works. What is the combo? How do I pull it off? What are the different, interactions with the cards in my own deck? And once you can start to get that, like automatically you will start increasing your win rate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pretty much stopped focusing on game by game. And it sounds like this would be exhausting, but I focus more on turn by turn.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just make sure each turn is thought out optimally and that you're thinking of every possible line of play. And if you're ever playing and you think to yourself, well, I'm going to make this play because it's the only line of play, then you're thinking about Hearthstone wrong, in my opinion. There's always a second line of play. You could literally have an empty hand and draw one card, and there's always going to be at least two lines of play. You either play the card or you don't play the card.
Right.
And you need to take both. You need to take both or all lines you can think of into consideration. Mind you, you might start a turn and say, this is the best line of play. And then go, what other line of play do I have? And find two or three that are subpar. They're not good. And you think it's a waste of energy to think of it like that, but you've ruled out other lines of play that aren't going to be optimal, and you've solidified that this is the most optimal line of play.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you think of a second or third line and go, wait, that's actually better.
Yeah.
So if you focus on having good turns, not just good games, the wins are just going to come.
It helps for me to sometimes like to talk out my plays, like if I'm doing co-op with somebody, or I don't do it a whole lot, but when I do coaching, that's what I typically ask is, all right, don't play anything. Like what plays do you see here? Tell me all of the plays that you see. What are your options? Yeah. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Now of these options, what is the best option? For me personally, I think one of my downfalls is I tend to play very quickly, and that is not usually a great idea. Like take a minute to, look at the board, identify, what is the opponent going to play, or if the opponent were to draw the nuts, like what is the best thing that they could do next turn, and how do I plan around that? If they had the best card, what would it be and how would I play around that? And then looking at what I have, what is the best possible play? And then almost like chess, try to think 2 to 3 turns ahead of time. And of course you have to shift depending on what the opponent plays. But, if you think of things just in the moment, like it's not long enough.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I will look at my hand and say, if my opponent could see my hand, what would they want me to do? What would they not want me to do?
Yeah, that's a good perspective.
And a lot of that's reading, and a lot of that is also playing your opponent, not just playing the board state. Is based on how many cards my opponent has in their hand, maybe what card they were hovering over, what do they want to do. If I'm thinking the best thing they could do next turn, I might have a line of play that's best for my board, but do I have a line of play that's best for countering the best thing they could do next turn?
Right.
So sometimes playing a suboptimal play to counter what your opponent what their optimal play is the best play.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to think of multiple lines. And that's my week in a nutshell is doing things like that, specifically with OTK decks this week, because that's
cool.
That's what I read my opponent's what I thought their lineup was gonna be this week, and I'm hoping I got it right. We'll see, but OTK was the way to go for me.
Hey, let me.
Your mindset like that is what gets you double legend every month. So thank you for taking the time to explain that. Thank you.
I appreciate that. And let me drop one other last knowledge bomb super quick while it's fresh on my mind. This is something that I heard Blister Guy say a long time ago, was
very smart man, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ray's one of my
Really?
favorite people. He's a great guy
Oh, yeah.
and very very smart. So here's
Blister guy.
Spectates me way too much at the beginning of the month, but hey, I digress.
yeah. I feel you there. That happened to me a couple days ago actually. He had a spectate quest and he popped into my. I was playing and he's like, hey, I'm just cooking dinner. But
At the first day of every month, he always spectates people playing the new set.
ah.
I think he spectated me at least 3 or 4 months. I don't know why he keeps hitting me. Maybe I just play at the right time.
It's a compliment, man.
That is a
Yeah.
compliment. So what Ray said that I think was really smart was to respect your opponent. And I really like that advice because, when you start thinking in terms of my opponent is a noob, my opponent is trash, my opponent is so terrible, my opponent is like, it makes you play suboptimally when you don't, and then you get angry when they top deck some good card. You get, oh, this trash player is, you just got really lucky, and like it's just a bad mindset to get yourself into. So
Yeah, you should play like your opponent is as skilled as you or better.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially now with the updated MMR system, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like,
agreed.
they legit are at the same MMR rank as you. So.
And that's another thing that I just don't understand in the Hearthstone community is a lot of people, and you see this with streamers, you see this with opponents sometimes friending you afterwards. They treat you, their opponent, as if you're enemies. And you have to remember, even in a loss, you can learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And if that person beats you, and you learn something on maybe a suboptimal play or how to play around something or what you shouldn't have done that cost you the game, they helped you figure that out and they helped you become a better player. So if you look at it that way, then every one of your opponents is almost like a partner teaching you how, like a coworker teaching you how not to do something or how to do something properly. So I don't like that mindset of treating the opponent person, your opposing player, as if you're enemies or they're a horrible person, because it's just not true. We are all here to have fun, and that's the focus of the game, is to enjoy it and have fun.
That's
It's
a great
not all
mindset.
about winning and getting higher rank than everybody else.
Yeah, I never feed it energy because like I played card games for like over 20 years, and just within this past 6 years, I've been playing Hearthstone. And 6 years ago, I stopped playing Magic. So prior to that, I've been playing cards forever, and I played in tournaments, different card games, Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho, all kind of card games.
Oh yeah,
No one ever.
That's a throwback.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one. I played that for a little while.
Yeah, but like my point is, like nobody outside of the one random person maybe who had more money and being teenagers, people are just juiced up. But like no one really acted maliciously or acted the way they do when they send these messages through Hearthstone. I've been at too many tournaments at brick and mortar places where I have this confidence that I've never seen that, except for like randomly here and there. Maybe somebody feels they got cheated in the game and they're upset because they spent $700 on a deck. But when people send hate messages in Hearthstone, I'm just like, are you guys serious? Like, and this is where I check myself, because I'm like, they have to be way younger than me, because I played in too many other card games and other high stakes tournaments for something like this to bother me. Like, I would never send a message to somebody cussing them out or calling them certain names or bad things about their family. Like, I could be queuing it to another match instead of spending time sending a hate message.
Keyboard warriors, man. People get brave on the internet because they got an alias. It's stupid. I mean, I don't usually get too offended by them, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I take I accept every friend request. You send me a friend request, I'm going to accept it, because it could be a listener show, it could be somebody that recognized my name.
Yeah, I do too.
But I've taken so many salty friend requests and turned them into Twitter followers and Hero Power listeners that I can't remember. They come at me, you were super lucky, and I reply, yeah, I was, sorry, and they
It just dissolves.
They say something bad about my deck choice, and I say, I'm just trying out a bunch of decks for my podcast. You should check it out. And they're like, I saw this deck on your website. Can you send me a list of that? And I'm like, yeah, here's this list. And all of a sudden they're
Okay.
and they're listeners of the show. So I do everything I can to de-escalate those. And sometimes you can't. Sometimes they say something, you go to reply back, and they've already unfriended you.
Yeah, that happens.
I even had one guy who friended me immediately after, and he was at like Diamond 2, and I was at Legend, and he beat me. And so he sent me a friend request. I was like, okay, cool. And then before he could say anything or I could say anything, he unfriended me. I don't know if it's because he saw I was Legend and was like,
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Yep.
Those type of people you can't ever get to because they're going to unfriend you so fast before you can make a difference. But if you can get a word in, and it's a kind word that can steer them, in the direction of becoming a friend and learning from their situation, then that just makes you a better part of the community.
Yeah.
But I have an important question. Hydralisk, how was your week, man?
It's been a pretty good week, to be honest. We're starting to feel what Nate's got going on. Your smoke has made its way up here, Nate. Yeah,
I'm trying.
Today, I noticed it yesterday. It was starting to get a little bit smoky, but today it started off as like a bright and sunny blue sky day, and by about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, you couldn't see the sky anymore. Like it's full blown just smoke absolutely everywhere. Like as I look out the windows now, there's trees that are about say 200 feet away, but there's like a full layer of smoke in front of them. Like they look, there's like a gray haze. I mean, I know it's nowhere near as bad as what you got going on, but it's definitely happening. So it's a little crazy. We get that around here quite a bit anyway. Like whenever like the Okanagan's on fire, that usually happens. But that's a thing. The other thing that I did do is I bought the Wild bundle, and it did not go very well.
Aw.
No.
That's sad. I mean, you got some dust, I suppose, but you didn't. Did you not
Yeah.
get anything that you needed?
I didn't. Well,
do you have a full set?
Little column A, little column B. I'm very close to a full Wild set, so like it probably filled in a few blanks. I did not get a single legendary
out of 56 packs.
Out of 56 packs, not a darn one.
Well, you have to also remember it's 8 packs for 8 different sets, so you're not going to hit a pity timer.
Yeah, I know it was a little bit brutal. I got one. The best thing I got is I got one golden epic, and that was Manic Soulcaster. It's that Battlecry shuffle a minion into your deck or copy of it.
Hydra, I got your problem solved right now. I can figure it out.
What up?
All right. Did you open these packs with your mouse?
Yes.
Okay, so I learned from Kriparian 5 years ago to open your packs with your spacebar.
No, I have a tradition. I do it in a star pattern. I can't change that.
Oh, man.
I open like the top left, then the bottom right. Oh, hold on. No, how do I do it? Oh, I'd have to emulate it for you. Like I can't even say it. I do it like in a full star pattern so that I don't ever do the one next to it.
So is it a 5-point star or a 6-point star?
Is this like a devil question?
Just saying, you might be.
Oh my god! Oh,
you might be going wrong luck there.
Maybe I should use the Diablo card back, and then I'll have better luck.
Do you hover over them first to see if you got anything good?
No.
Why? So Mike, why the space bar? Like, I mean, I know that you can jam through them super fast, but like,
so whether Crip was joking or not, I've been doing it for 4 years, or ever since I heard him say it, and whenever it's like expansion time, I always get a pack. Well, I always get at least like 10 to like 12 legendaries, and I always get like 5 or 6 golden ones. And then every other expansion, because it happened this one, and then it happened last December, I get 2 golden legendaries in a pack.
Holy crap!
Like,
That's amazing.
I don't know if he was joking or not, but the shit's crazy. Like, shout out to Crip. I know he listens to us. Shout out Crip. You know what I'm saying? Very good. Very
Regular
good tip.
fellow Canadian subscriber.
You want to make sure you're using the pirate card back, right?
Oh, I have it on,
like the
I have it
the
on
Edwin
random
Van
because it
Cleef one.
changes. I get the random
it's
card
got
back.
the pirate wheel on it.
I don't
that one.
I don't have
Yeah.
that one. I'm so sad.
See, I'm glad this bundle didn't come with a card back or a portrait because that's my weakness.
Speaking of card backs or portraits, there should be a new portrait coming out this week. You want to let's jump into the news since we're like right there anyways.
I want to say one more thing first.
Yeah.
Because I've been rocking the Odd Warrior as well. I feel like I got completely robbed out of a win just yesterday. I think I told you about this, Nate. I was waiting on one extra turn to do a board clear, and I was versing a secret mage, and they had a full board. So I played my Bulwark of Azeroth, the one that allows you to only you take 1 damage per hit. And okay, I'm safe. Well, this secret mage had Blingtron teched in to destroy their Aluneth. And so instead of using it to destroy their Aluneth, they used it to destroy my weapon. And then just I did not see this coming. And just destroyed me. Brought me down from 25 health or something like that.
I had the same list, and they did the same thing to me, and I got another Bulwark.
Oh, did you?
They conceded right off the bat.
That's amazing. Oh, no, I wasn't so lucky. I got Spear Claws or something. I don't know.
That's incredible.
All right, Nate.
I need to fix the soundboard. I got so excited because I finally got the soundboard working, but it's playing through my mic and my speaker, so it sounds like it's double echoing. So hopefully by next week I'll get it sorted out. But
we do have news, but it is extremely light this week.
That's good. That's fine.
New rogue hero? Got a new hero?
Rogue.
That's a good joke though.
Oh. Damn.
So has anybody experienced this issue that they're apparently going to do a hotfix on? Has anyone had the problem with freezing trap not allowing you to play the minions that are sent back to your hand?
I have not, but I keep hearing about it.
I have not seen this at all, but yeah, apparently once your minions are sent back to your hand, they are completely unplayable.
Do people play Hunter in Wild?
I was gonna say,
Hunter.
I actually lost to a Reno Hunter this past couple of days playing as an Odd Warrior, and I lost to it was like they generated so much value over and over and over that I just couldn't deal with it.
Oh, the Death Knight, yeah.
So I have not, but so they said if a hot fix, I guess, is in the works to fix this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not much in the way of news, but there it is.
Yeah, we also have the Forbidden Library Week 2 will be starting on the 15th of the month. So that's the beginning of the new adventure.
Yeah.
Where we're going to be able to play as Jaina to start off with. So that'll be available on the 15th.
Yeah, it's a young Jaina, which is it's kind of exciting. There's also going to be a bundle that has the young Jaina portrait along with some mage packs.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the portraits because I think I have every portrait available in the game minus the 1,000 win Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have 3 rogues?
Yeah, I have all the rogues. I have all 57 mage portraits. I actually have every card back except for Thrill of Victory and Golden Celebration.
Wow.
I'm a hoarder. I'm a collector.
That's impressive.
I love stuff this. So, yeah, I have 1,000 wins on every class except for Demon Hunter, which
Nice.
I think I'm like 130. I'm not even close.
You've got about 100 more than most of us.
It's funny because when they announced the 1,000 win portraits, I only had one class that was under 1,000 wins.
Oh, so you got them all right off the bat, yeah.
So I grinded it up. It was Rogue, and I grinded it up to 1,000 wins like 2 days before they came out. So as soon as the portraits came out, I got all of them.
Oh, nice.
The one thing about the new Jaina portrait is, from what I've read, and I don't know if this is true, but it's data mined on out of cards, that there is no unique voice lines.
You know, they said that. They said that initially, and shame on me for not putting it in the notes, but I have in the Discord. If you look at the news section, there is hold on, let me look here real quick. There was more data mine stuff, and I know originally they were saying there was no unique voice lines, but there was let's see here. I'll share the link with you guys. It looks like there may be some unique voice lines after all. Not specifically for most of the emotes. I don't think I just shared the link with you guys. Let me if there's some spoiler content, so I don't know if you actually want to read it or not for the new solo mission. But one of the things in there talked about unique voice lines. She has 2 special voice lines that replace the defaults. One for threaten that says, "Why are you being so difficult?" and one for handful that says, "I don't have space." That's not super awesome, but
No.
it is a little bit different than no unique voice lines. And apparently there are, when you play her, or at least during this solo content, there are 3 separate hero portraits that sort of evolve until you arrive at her current portrait, which is interesting. Cool. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
They kind of did that with Arana, or the
They did it with Arana, and they also did it with Illidan a little bit in the prologue solo content.
So I like that they're doing this, and this solo content. I know they originally said we're supposed to get solo content every set cycle. So we get a set, and we get solo content, then a set, then a solo content, so forth and so on. But they're saying that this is going to be a story-based solo content.
Yeah, for all 10.
Well, they said for all heroes, and that they have they're going to be rolling them out over the next 12 months. So I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. Are we putting on our tinfoil hats for a second? Thinking about are you talking about new heroes, or are we talking about it's just going to take them a year to do it?
Well, there's only 10 classes,
right?
So
Yeah,
that would be your 10 core classes. But they may do one for Dame Hazelbark. They may do one for Morgul the Oracle. They could do more than one class hero. But there's also 2 other classes over the next that we just saw Demon Hunter. There's 2 other classes in World of Warcraft, or in Warcraft
Death Knight.
To round it off to 12 instead of 10.
There's Death Knight, and then there's Monk. So there is the possibility. They've said that that's not going to happen, but it could be read both ways. They said over 12 months, so there may be doubling up on some of the classes, just telling those character stories. Because obviously, like for the ones that they've had stories, like Madame Lazul, they probably don't need to do one for Madame Lazul because we got to hear her story in multiple sets. They may not even do Illidan because we've had the prologue, so they may not even do one for Demon Hunter at all. But I'd love to have a story for Dame Hazelbark. I'd love to have a story for Morgul the Oracle. I'd love one for Lady Liadrin.
Yeah,
it'd be really cool if they did a couple of the alternate portraits as stories.
Man, I would love that. I'm going to play devil's advocate super quick and just be the Debbie Downer and say what I could see happening, like worst case scenario, is that they do one for all 10 classes over the period of a year, and like say when the new set comes out, they don't do one that month or something like that.
Oh yeah,
because there's two more sets, right? We'll have one in December and then one in April.
Even if they did that, that's still more solo content than we would normally get.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I hope that you're right. Number one, it hadn't even occurred to me that they would do like an alternate paladin, alternate druid, alternate, whatever. Like that would be so awesome.
We've gotten some of these portraits with no explanation of who they are or their backstories.
Yeah, no, I agree. And
Nemzi backstory.
Oh gosh, yeah. She's been featured on a lot of the card art in the past, but you don't really know her. I love a Nemzi solo content where I got to play through her story.
That'd be so cool. Oh man, that'd be great. We get Bog Creeper as a alternate warlock skin.
Another warlock skin.
Oh man.
That's pretty much the entire news. We didn't have a lot to talk about there.
No, yeah, really. I don't think are you guys going to be, I assume, these mage packs, last time they came out, it was like $10 for 5 packs or something. It was such a terrible deal.
I did not buy those. I did not.
I
had all the mage cards anyway. So
I did, and then I instantly regretted it because I got 40 dust out of each pack, and it was a waste of $10. But
for me, I didn't see the point to buy the mage packs when I could just like go to my collection manager and then make like Cyclone Mage, and then go slam down a Sorcerer's Apprentice and Evocation, and then bam, I got a crap ton of mage cards right there at my disposal to do whatever the hell I want. Like, I don't want to buy mage packs. I could just go do that. And
I will not buy the mage packs. I will buy the mage portrait.
yeah, I feel you there.
And the way I see it is, if the value is worth the portrait to me, then I get free packs.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
If it, they've already said it's going to be the portrait in 5 packs. I'm hoping it's even a $5.99 deal. I'd like to see a $4.99 deal, but if it's $9.99,
I know. I think it's going to be $10. I think $9.99 is what I think, and I'm going to end up getting it anyways, begrudgingly.
How come they don't do like other class packs? Like, I feel like they could always have like stuff in the store, like rotating out weekly, like different deals and stuff.
I'm pretty sure they're planning on it because Imic did some data mining, and we saw what the pack looks like for the hunter class, the hunter packs. The artwork for the packs looks super cool.
Okay.
So
it's just insane to me how slow they are to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many games that just like, things are in the store this week, out of the store this week, next one in, next one out.
Yeah.
Brand new game. I've been playing that stupid Fall Guys game.
Yep.
And there's like new crap in the store every single day. Like, it rotates.
It's like every 14 hours it rotates, yeah.
Yeah, like, come on, Blizzard, let's go.
Yeah, they could have rotating packs, rotating card backs. Like, this card back is available for the next 15 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, a little timer counting down in yellow. Like, I just see it. Like, I just envision it.
Man,
what's up, Blizzard?
You guys are OGs. You remember when they said that they were like, "Hey, wild stuff is not going to be available to buy in client anymore."
Oh, that was
like
brutal.
I was like, why? Why would you do that? Like, what's the point? Like,
crazy.
Okay, so we can't give you money anymore?
No sense.
Did I tell the story on the podcast how I was free to play and I had never purchased Naxxramas? And once that rotated out and it was never coming back, I crafted all of Naxxramas, like with my own dust. And then they brought it back. And I'm like,
dang.
I actually wrote a letter to Blizzard. I'm like, can you please refund my dust as I've crafted all these cards? Yeah, they never wrote back.
One thing to remember is there's been kind of a regime change.
That's true.
That pre-Ben Brode era where you had Ben Brode, Young Woo, and all that kind of leadership in the team,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a lot of shakeup with Activision Blizzard execs,
Yeah.
and a lot of your higher ups either retired and were replaced by some mouthpieces from Activision, or some of them were higher ups in other teams that got moved up, like J. Allen Brack, and then we had Ben Brode and Young Woo and a lot of that Team 5 leadership leave to form their own company, and they've had to build this new. Ben Lee's now in charge, and he kind of has this really good mentality of touching base with the player base and finding out, what do you think is too expensive, what kind of stuff would you want to buy, and getting feedback on a regular basis. So a lot of the stuff they said they're never going to do, and now they're doing it, is in my eyes is a positive thing, because that means listening. And it may not happen overnight, because you got to remember, they can't do anything without getting the Activision Blizzard shareholders to approve it. So nothing ever happens fast at Blizzard. But things have been happening a lot more efficiently and faster than they have ever in the last year.
Agreed.
Than they did the previous 4 years. So while there's a lot of complaints and stuff like this, I'm hoping some of these things stick. They stick to the wall. They see they can make money off it. That's why I don't mind spending money on this stuff, because if I see it's a good idea and it's something I want as a player, if I don't buy it or don't invest my money into it, and a lot of people don't, then they're going to say, oh, it's not a good idea. It's not going to make us money.
Right.
So if I spend my money on it, and others do that support the company, then maybe the shareholders will give Team 5 a little more wiggle room and leniency on some of these things that are good quality of life for us that we like.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why, even though this is a wild focused show, it's very important. Like, it's in our best interest for the game as a whole to do well, and I don't follow very closely like the Grandmaster stuff or, a lot of the normal mainstream competitive Hearthstone or whatever, but like, I try to tune in when I can, or I buy the bundles when they come out, because I want the game to do well so that it stays around for a long time, right?
Yeah.
The worst case scenario, like people stop playing, they stop making money, and then it's just gone. Like, that'd be terrible. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, it'd be horrible.
Yeah. And a lot of the Team 5 members on the developmental team, like Cora, like Chalky, all these people, they're not sitting at their desk going, how can I make this game more money?
They're not. Yeah.
Really cool cards. How can I make really, really cool art, voiceovers, storylines? And then their supervisors have to turn that into a proposal to the executives to give them the funding to allow them to do that. And sometimes that involves, you can do that, but you have to put out these many bundles at this amount of price. So when people say, I'm not supporting this game monetarily because they just want my money, the people that are making the game that you enjoy to play don't want your money. It's their bosses. And that's going to be like that with any consumable product that you get, whether it be Nike shoes or the soda you drink, Coca-Cola. The high-end person is going to be the one gouging you for money. It's not the people that are making the product that you enjoy and that you consume.
Well,
so
very, very good point, Zerotio.
Just remember
That was a great description. I like that.
Supporting the person that stirs the vat of Coca-Cola isn't like, how much money is the company going to make? They want to make something that tastes good. So that's just
like the guy who makes my steak and cheese.
Exactly.
Yeah. Shout out steak and cheese guy. Yeah.
But you know what though? I mean, also you can't expect, to have this awesome experience for free all the time. Like, where I really see this a lot is in content creators, especially artists. Like, hey, I'm not going to spend all this time and effort and energies to give you something for free. Like, I mean, you're getting content that's valuable. Mm-hmm. What is the value? It's different value to different people. But like, I don't mind paying some money. Like, this game has provided me with endless hours of entertainment. I've met a lot of friends, you know.
Yeah.
We enjoy it, and I'm not saying like take all my money, but I also you know, is it realistic to expect give me the greatest thing ever for free? Like,
No.
I mean, they got to pay all their employees too, right? So yeah, you know, it's interesting. I mean, it's very easy to complain about, you know, Blizzard, a small indie company and all that, right? But I think that they've really come a long way, especially considering like all the change and all the shakeups. There's a joke at my work upstairs in the ISD lab, if you will. There's a sign on the door. It says the two things that people hate the most. Number one is change, and number two is the way things are. So, you know, I mean, it's true, right? So, anyways,
hey, for me, I like Heroes of the Storm and Hearthstone. So to me, like Hearthstone, it could honestly be at a next level, but because what Zerotio explained about how long it'll take for stuff to get passed through, that's why things are slow. Like I think if things got passed through faster, like this game could be at the next level because people complain about the money and this, that, and the third. I never complained about it because I played a bunch of other games that cost way more, and I know if I have like a system, I have Nintendo Switch, but if I have like a different console, and there's a bunch of games I want to play, those games are $60 to what nowadays $100 if you have like the collector's edition. You know what I'm saying? It comes with all kind of stuff. So like if I was a person like that, like in my teenage years, I used to buy console games. I'd be spending way more money on that in my mind than Hearthstone. But if the store, if they had this rotating collection of stuff every week, different pack bundles, different card backs, different skins, and they were looking to get money from us all the time, like other games do, like Fortnite or like Heroes of the Storm, then I could understand maybe people complaining about money. But to me, no disrespect, because they can still do it, but I don't think in the sense of putting stuff in the store for people to buy when they're bored, because I don't think they're trying hard enough in that sense. I'm not saying they don't try hard with the game. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like I feel like there could be more stuff in the store that's just static sitting there, and if they don't do it, I don't get why.
It's a form of entertainment, and you're going to pay for entertainment. You pay your cable bill every month. Some guys once a month will pay green fees, club rentals, you know, cart rentals to go golfing once a month. I choose to spend my money on Hearthstone packs to sit in my underwear and.
No, same here, because like I don't have a console, so like this is the only game I really play. So like I don't complain about the money because I used to play Magic, and what I spend in Hearthstone is nothing. What's the phrase? Is peanuts. It's peanuts compared to Magic. So I'm looking for more stuff to buy. That's what I'm saying. They should put more stuff in the store.
They rotated skins in and out like hero portraits. Like people would just call a hero portrait, say like $3.99 or something like that, or like 500 gold. Like rotate those in and out. People would be buying them all the time. They could drop like 50 different portraits and rotate them in and out weekly.
And that's a common misconception where people say, "Well, if they charge you gold for it, that's free." No, you've earned that gold by spending time in the game, and spending time in the game is allowing the developers to show the shareholders, look how much time people are spending in our game that's creating into profit. So gold has a value. Your time, whether you're you know using it as entertainment or not, doesn't matter. Your time is still valuable, and those developers know that. So when you buy things with gold, they see that. And I think that's another reason why Arena never really took off and got the support it needed, is because after a while, people were getting more out of Arena than they were spending, so it had no profitability margin. It was pulling basically a negative profit because they're spending 150 gold to get 750 gold, and then they're spending another 150 gold to get another 700 gold. So I think that's one of the failures of Arena.
Maybe I should play Arena more. Sounds like a good deal.
I've got a very important question to ask Zerotio. Are you wearing pants right now?
Yes, we talked about underwear, so I would like to know this as well.
Anyone wear pants when they're on a podcast? I know I have. I can wear pants when I'm on a
I am currently wearing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle board shorts.
I am wearing board shorts. Yeah, I'm not. Whether I'm wearing anything under those, I can't say. So I am wearing shorts.
I'm playing around. All right.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a
Heroes in a
microwave.
shell.
Turtle soup.
Microwave?
No.
In a half shell. That was my favorite.
Heroes in
cartoon.
a half shell. Turtle power.
My dad used to walk in the room while I was watching a cartoon, and he'd sing that turtles in a microwave, turtle soup.
What a savage!
Wow.
Very, very. Wait, Nate, are you wearing pants?
Yeah, I'm wearing PJ pants. But Craig never would wear pants, so I'm just saying.
Does he wear pants?
I mean, I don't even, Craig. Not even when he went to work. So, I'm joking. But hey, so have you guys? I wanted to talk about just a very brief meta discussion, and I don't think it needs to be super long because we kind of already went there. But have you guys played much after the Dark Glare nerf? Like, I know, Mike, you were waiting, right? It's just like ladder is not enjoyable at the moment until the nerf. Have you guys played since then? I think Zerotio earlier was saying that it's kind of like a smorgasbord, if you will, or kind of a free-for-all at the moment.
A lot of combo decks, a lot of control decks. The decks that basically you could not play because of Dark Glare, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the Mechathune decks come back out because you couldn't play Mechathune decks against Dark Glare. So it's fun for me because I'm also playing OTK decks, so it's like I don't know which OTK deck they're playing based on just their class. So it's like I'm racing to see who can get there first, and I'm not always the winner, but I get enjoyment out of it. I go, hey, I want to try that deck, and then it makes me look it up.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's another thing I really like about THL is because after a week of play, you can go through the open deck lists and find some decks that inspire you for later. Where Wild doesn't have a lot of really good resources like HS Replay or up-to-date resources on things like Hearthstone top decks, as well as Standard does. So
but I guess that is sorry to interrupt you. That is maybe a good segue though to say in our Discord, if people are looking for tier lists or something, we post them in our Discord. I've got a special channel for that. We've got some friends who write for Tempo Storm, and we put their meta snapshots in there. I know Slizzle has a pretty regular video of decks to climb with. Vicious Syndicate does a wild snapshot. It's a little bit less frequent than the standard ones. And then Reno Jackson's group, Team Wildside, does a meta snapshot as well. And the Alpha Chord folks do one. And so we collect all of those, and they're sitting in our Discord. If whenever they post a new one, I'll copy it or link it up in there. So if you guys need decks to play with, they're there. But I agree with you. The data, like, geez, especially looking at the data in HS Replay, like there's just not nearly as many people playing Wild, and so the data is not as good. But it's better now than it was after the ladder changes. There are a lot more people.
I've been playing Odd Warrior, as we were talking about before, and I've actually ran into quite a bit of Jade Druids recently. And I can't remember, one of you guys were talking about how they were armoring up like crazy. Mike, was that you?
Yeah.
Like armoring up like nuts. So I was playing Odd Warrior. They were playing Jade Druid. I'm Odd Warrior, but they have more armor than I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then this was a long game, guys. I played Mischief Maker, and I ended up getting a Jade Idol.
Oh, that's rad.
And so then I'm Odd Warrior building Jades. They're building Jades. We're both armoring, like, it's tank up every single turn. And like shuffle more Jades, build more Jades. This went on for a very long time.
Have you ever hit the turn limit before?
I haven't. No.
Were they Plague Lord? Death Knight?
Yeah, they Death Knighted, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Term limit, which is I think like 90.
It's something like that.
They shortened it. It's not 90
I think
anymore.
I think it's like 45 or in the.
Yeah, it was huge, but
for each person is what it was.
Oh.
Hey, for me,
Both players taking 45 turns.
That sounds about right.
For meta discussion, speaking of Reno Jackson, so in my corner here, looking at my stats so far this month, run into a lot of Quest Mage, seeing a lot of Kingsbane, Raza Priest, and then I ran into a lot of Quest Shaman, like Shutterwalk style.
Interesting.
That was pretty interesting. And then the rest of them were just Q blocks.
Wow,
So,
I'm seeing
a lot of different things. I'm at Diamond 4 right now. Sorry.
I'm seeing less Kingsbane right now, and I'm at the Diamond 4 and 5 spot myself. I'm seeing less Kingsbane because it kind of preyed on Dark Glare, and now that Dark Glare's not there, Kingsbane doesn't have a lot of praise to go on now, and it can be Odd Warrior. But if the Odd Warrior, like the one I'm playing, I put Sticky Fingers in my Odd Warrior.
I love that card. I love it.
Like it would. The trick on Sticky Fingers is if you're pretty sure they're not running the Horde Pillager, which is kind of the counter tech for Kingsbane. If you're pretty sure they're not running Horde Pillager, you let them build that Kingsbane up for you, and then just take when it's at like 8 or 9.
I took one at 11. It was great.
I took one yesterday that was at 15.
15.
I took a screenshot. I'll see if I can find it. It was I got an instant concede when I did it. It was beautiful.
When I was facing a lot of Odd Warrior that was teching into Sticky Fingers, I actually put in a Horde Pillager into my Kingsbane. So and you have to be real strict with yourself never to use your hero power, so that the only weapon that ever gets destroyed is the Kingsbane.
Yeah.
So you want to get the Kingsbane out quickly and just attack as you want it to be destroyed, but you don't want to use your hero power to destroy it, or you could get the 1-2 daggers. So it's a little more, you have to be a little more diligent with it and get that Kingsbane out early before they have a chance to sticky finger it. But once it's destroyed once, you can always play a Horde Pillager just to get it back.
That's no. I totally feel that. Sticky Fingers is so dirty and it feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've got a few insta concedes with that one. It's hilarious.
It's a great card to test emotions. One deck I've been playing. This deck's pretty fun. It's a secret pure Libram Quest Pally.
What?
I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds wacky, but it's actually pretty cool and it's actually really good. I like it a lot because. Sorry, go ahead. What was the question?
Wait, so I didn't see. So I am a part of a lot of Discords.
Yeah.
And I pretty much turned notifications off on all of them. I did not see this in the Paladin channel, which I have notifications on.
Oh, yeah, I posted it.
You posted it in there?
Yep.
You did? I must have missed it because that is all my jam right there.
Yeah.
All right, go on. I'm intrigued.
So, it grabbed me because I was playing. I think it might have been Priest or basically some deck. It wasn't like tier 1, but it was basically a deck built to get value and just like try to outvalue the other people because a lot of them just aggro. But this person kept coming in with like waves and like playing like the secrets and then like the Librams building boards, and then when I clear it, they just come back with more. And then because it's a pure deck, the Crusader refills their hand, and then Lady Liadrin gives you all the spells that you target with minions back, and it was just like insane. And then like it just felt like I just couldn't win. And like friending them after, or they friended me, and then that was actually one interaction where it wasn't negative, so that was pretty cool. And then I got the list from them, and then I've been playing it ever since. Like it wasn't working when Dark Lair was running crazy because turn 3 is the longest the game's ever went. But
Yeah.
there's like it's pretty fun. I'm at Diamond 4 right now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to steal that list from you because that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Zerotio, this list that you brought us this week because you're running the it's the OTK package. I was playing a similar one, but it was running the Librams because you need 0 mana spells with Beardo to refresh the hero power. And so like I could play all these 0 mana Librams, but so your list is a little bit different. In fact, I don't know.
It's actually a raffle list.
Okay.
I tried to make some variations and personalize it to myself, but it was just so perfect. The reason it doesn't run the Librams is this is like a turbo list. It actually uses the coins off a licensed adventurer.
Okay.
Okay.
This may be a good time to like switch focus a little bit and start chatting about this deck because I don't know. I mean, that's kind of where the conversation's going. A listener had requested that we chat a little bit about ladder anxiety, but I think that we covered a lot of those concepts earlier in the show.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of touch on that real fast, because I know we had a listener ask about it. Is ladder anxiety is what you make of it. And the best thing you can do when you start feeling anxiousness in the ladder, whether it's positive or negative, is take a break. And some people hear you say take a break, and they think take a day, 2-3 days without playing Hearthstone. If that's what you need, sure. To me, take a break is get up, refresh my drink, maybe make myself a sandwich, stretch my legs a little bit, and then 5 minutes later come back and hit it again. So it's whatever you need to refresh your memory. The worst things for you to do is build habits that build more habits. And a lot of that is not thinking your plays through, or just snap playing, or doing something else when your opponent's playing their turn and not paying attention. And you can do that and still win. But when you start seeing bad turns, and again, I'm not saying bad games, bad turns happen because you're fatigued or you're getting anxious on what's going on, then that's where you just need to take a breather, hydrate, get some water. You'd be surprised how a glass of water will totally change your mental perception on a turn. Mm-hmm. And you'll hear me say this a lot, is focus on your turn, not your games. If you make sure you have as few bad turns as possible, that automatically equates to having less bad games. And I know it seems a lot of micromanagement, but Hearthstone is a micromanagement game. That's you manage everything. Your mana, your curve on your cards, your deck building is micromanaged. So might as well take those skills and make yourself more efficient at the game. And part of that
I agree
is
with that.
Your own mental health.
Yeah, so I like everything Zerotio said. Just a quick piece. To me, for ladder anxiety, if you don't take every single turn as serious as you can and play to the best that you can, therefore, at the end of the game, if you lost, and all you can say is, I tried my best. Because once you string games together like that, I feel like, for me, once I started playing better than I used to, and then I started doing other things throughout my day instead of just playing Hearthstone, whether it's playing a different video game or going outside, talking to someone else in real life, watching TV, and then you come back to this, and then you realize it's like all that stress you felt earlier, it really doesn't matter because not to get all deep here, but life is bigger than just a game, and I feel like the ladder anxiety goes away once you start trying your best and then recognizing where the mistakes were, and then watching your replays, and then I feel like that was a shift for me trying to do that.
Now, don't take this as me saying that you can't relax and play Hearthstone. You can relax and play Hearthstone, but if you're relaxing and playing Hearthstone and maybe watching Netflix or watching a Twitch stream or something like that while you're also playing Hearthstone, and I do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I play 30 to 35 hours of Hearthstone a week. The thing is I might only play like 10 of those hours where I'm really focusing on quality, high-level play to make sure that I'm going up the ladder. The other 20 hours is just me kind of goofing around, playing what they call meme decks, things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't get ladder anxiety during that time because it doesn't matter to me. If I sit and keep getting the message that I can't lose stars at this rank, then it's because I'm focusing on watching Netflix or doing something else. And I'm using Hearthstone as a relaxation tool. But then when I start focusing on, I want to get legend, well, then I take those things and I get them out of the way. And I focus on each and every turn. Now, if I still am making suboptimal plays or I'm making mistakes or I am not getting the results I want, then I just need to take a break, get some water, maybe get a lunch with my wife, have a non-Hearthstone conversation for a little while. So it's like a racing. It's like making that perfect piece of art on an Etch-a-Sketch. And you get a couple of those lines wrong and you don't like it. The best way to get is just shake it up, clean it all out, and start over.
It's the best metaphor I've ever heard.
And if you don't know what an Etch-a-Sketch is, you're young. And I'm old.
That's
I'm pretty sure everybody here was born in the 80s, I believe.
Oh, man, I feel old.
Oh, are you in the 70s?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I just
barely though, right?
I just turned 39 last week, so I'm very happy to have someone older than me.
My daughter just turned 19.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm up there.
I guess you got me beat. My son is turning 12 soon.
I'm happily in my 40s.
Dad club.
Yep.
Dad club. Yep. Oh, hey, yeah, a bunch of dads here.
That's right.
Definitely
hey, so
dad legend mode.
That's right.
But yeah, that's my piece on ladder anxiety. It's what you make of it.
I like it, and I put something up on the screen here. It's a Star Trek quote from Captain Picard.
Did you almost say Star Wars?
I almost did, but I'm no better than that. I know better than that. It was a Freudian slip. I don't want to say which my preference is because I'll probably lose some friends, but I love this quote. It is possible to commit no errors and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. And it's like that in the game too. I mean, you can do everything right. Like there are so many games where I had lethal next turn, but they killed me. They killed me this turn. And like, could I have done it better? Maybe. And that's what, Hearthstone Deck Tracker and HS Replay are for. Stuff like that. I think that, if you treat every game as a learning experience, you respect your opponent, you take time to observe. And I think what Zerotio said was a really good point because I sort of do the same thing. I use Hearthstone as kind of a relaxation. Like if I'm just playing for fun, I've got Netflix going on one screen and Hearthstone going on the other screen. Very frequently. I took Linecracker to D5 this month or whatever it was.
Wow.
And then switched off to Odd Warrior, or maybe it was D10. I don't remember, but it was like, I was just trying to goof around and have fun, but and if you win some, you lose some, but it was hilarious. And I would laugh every time I was able to combo off and like, it's entertaining, but it's also, there's a time for everything. Like if you want to, you can't have like massive divided attention and expect you're going to do really well.
No. That's why I was playing Odd Warrior because I had things to do. I was like, I made dinner while I was playing on.
Right.
Like I would actually run out to the barbecue and I would like turn over my food and I come back. I'm like, oh, what did they do?
And that's
Right.
and that's the way you can enjoy the game. But again, when you're in a situation like that, you're not going to get anxiety because you're relaxing as well. You're drinking a beer and grilling brats or whatever you're doing. So
Yeah.
that's not the situation where you're going to have ladder anxiety.
Oh no, like as soon as you're approaching that ranked floor and that comes to me hard. Like I actually will sweat from my palms when I am like I know I'm at that, and I'll tell my wife. It's so funny. She'll be sitting in the background, and I'll say to my wife, "I'm like, okay, I'm about to get Dad Legend. I just need to win this one. I'm on a win streak. I gotta get this game. If I get this game, I get it. I'm gonna be there." And then she's like, "Okay, good luck, honey." And then I'll be like, "Gosh darn it, I freaking lost! Now I gotta win 2 more or 3 more. My win streak is gone." And she's like, "It's okay, honey."
I like to say when you hit rank 6 and 3 million stars.
Yeah.
That's how it feels, it feels like that, that rank 1 and 3 million stars, it feels like you're always needing that one extra star.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really that way. I know I have a habit, and this is a big habit of mine, is I will see what my record is when I hit rank 5, and then I will count how many stars.
Mm.
And if I've got like a 11 and 6 record, I'm at +5.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to get to 16 more stars. So that means I have to have 21 more wins than I have losses.
I do the same thing.
That gets into my head. So I have to go in and change my stats so I don't see the record. So I can just play and focus on each turn. So I'm as guilty of it as anybody else. But you just have to get into your head and realize what you're doing, whether it's good or bad, and learn from it.
The one thing I picture when it comes to that is, say you need like your 16 stars. Say you need 16 stars to get to Legend. The way I picture it is, okay, I could win 116 games and I can lose 100 games.
Yeah, that's how I am. As long as I look at that plus,
right, like that's how I picture it. Like okay, that's like a 51% win rate.
And I'm just as guilty as anybody else. It's a bad mindset, but like I said, if you go back to just realizing each play has to be solid. Each turn has to be solid, and then eventually all that's going to turn. If you put one piece in the puzzle, whether it's a 100-piece puzzle or a 1,500-piece puzzle, you'll eventually finish that puzzle.
Yeah,
you just go one piece at a time.
Yep. Agreed.
I like it. All right, let's talk about this deck.
Let's do it. I love this type of deck. I really do.
So this is an OTK deck with Uther of the Evan Blade. Because we do this show on audio and video, the people watching can just see the card list. We'll put it in the YouTube notes and the show notes. But I'm going to read through the deck list real quick just to assist the audio listeners. So here's this deck. 2 copies of First Day of School, 2 copies of Christology, 1 copy of The Last Kaleidosaur, 2 copies of Tour Guide, 2 copies of Wave of Apathy, 2 copies of Flash of Light, 2 copies of Hand of Adal, 2 copies of Licensed Adventurer, 2 copies of Novice Engineer, 2 Questing Explorers, 2 Wild Pyromancers, 2 Acolyte of Pain, 1 Auction Master Beardo, 1 Lord Barov, 2 Timeouts, 1 Lorekeeper Polkelt, 1 Nozdormu the Timeless. That's spicy.
Yep. This is my favorite part.
and of course Uther of the Ebon Blade. What in the world? So Nozdormu, that puts your mana at 10, yeah?
Whoa, yeah.
It's yours and your opponent's mana at 10.
So I mean, I guess this allows you to combo a lot earlier. So what is the main? I mean, the win con of this deck essentially is you want to play Uther, and then you want to OTK your opponent by playing all 4 horsemen in one turn. So the question is, how do you do that? And different decks do it different ways. I'm curious to get your take on this. Like, what I see immediately is this runs the quest, but I assume like this runs the quest not to actually complete the quest, but to trigger Questing Explorer, to trigger Licensed Adventurer.
That's true. That the whole reason for the quest is to get those coins, which are very important to refreshing your hero power with Auction Master Beardo. And a lot of people do the math and they say, well, even with the coins, you need more spells. And
not with Tour Guide.
Exactly. You can Tour Guide, use the hero power for free, play your Auction Master Beardo. That's 4 mana there. You coin, which refreshes the hero power, another Tour Guide.
Yeah.
Which makes it free. Then you can even use Wave of Apathy for 1 mana to refresh your hero power. Along with the coins, you can do it within 10 mana. And I've done it rather often. Don't be afraid if you have Uther the Ebon Blade in hand to Nose Dormu the Timeless, because even though your opponent might get 10 mana, they're going to have to deal with an 8/8, and then you have 5/5 worth of lifesteal the next turn, a 5 damage worth of lifesteal weapon, and a 5 armor to swing back whatever they do that next turn.
Yeah.
And if it's an aggro strategy, a lot of people say, well, they're just going to dump their hand. Well, yeah, then you deal with it, and they have nothing else to do because they've dumped their entire hand. So it's very good at kind of getting the tools you need to draw, and then you always have the timeouts to just basically make it so your opponent can't win while you set up the last couple pieces you need to get lead.
There's lots of draw here too.
What triggers do we have for Bear Off in here? Are you using Wild Pyromancer mostly?
Yeah, you can use Wild Pyromancer if you can Bear Off, Wild Pyromancer, and then Crystology, or Wild Pyromancer, Wave of Apathy. That works. Just using Wild Pyromancer along with your Wave of Apathies and Crystologies alongside your Acolyte of Pain is just the old school, way of drawing cards in Paladin like we've always done.
Right
and
on.
Crystology draws so much. It draws your tour guides. It draws your novice engineers. There's just a lot of deck thinning in this deck.
What I like also is that at least this is this is really the first time that I'm looking at this deck, but a lot of the cards, and I really have to compliment Raffle as a deck builder. A lot of the cards here are like multi-use cards, right? So first day of school, like I can play it on turn 1 and grab a couple random 1-cost minions to give me some early game whatever. But I also can use it late game to combo. Hey, it's a 0 mana spell and refresh my hero power. Or hey, I can use it as a 0 mana spell with Wild Pyro to clear some board. Like there's a lot of multifunction there. Same with the Crystology to clear, but it's also 1 mana spell. Let's see. Flash of Light is great. Healing plus draw. I don't even know what Hand of Adele does. I feel bad about that.
Draw a card.
And you draw a card.
It's to draw. But even then, like Hand of Adele will go good on Wild Pyro, right? If you can buff it and use it for board clear. I like that they're calling it kind of like a turbo version because essentially like you are drawing cards. Ideally drawing cards like every turn.
The goal, I've been able to pull off the combo on turn 9, which you wouldn't expect because you have to play with your Blade on 9, but not if you play Nose Dormu on like 4 or 5. You can basically pull off the whole combo as early as like turn 6.
Holy cow! Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could if you had the right cards in hand.
I mean, that's kind of a perfect storm.
What? Let me ask then. What do you need? What cards do you need for the combo? Like, it takes 2 turns to set up, right? Because you've got to play Uther on 1 turn, and then if you've got the cards, you can combo off the next turn, right?
Yeah, you'll need Auction Master Beardo. You usually will need at least 1 tour guide, and then 3 spells, 3 cheap 0 or 1 cost spells. So you could use First Day of School if you haven't had to play it early for 1 cost minions, which I don't usually play it early. I hold it until I need the possibility of a 1 cost minion. You obviously have the coins. You can use the Wave of Apathies as a way to refresh the hero power.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of tools you can use. Sometimes you'll want a Lore Keeper Polkelt just to put the timeouts at the top of your deck.
Yeah.
Just to set those time. If you've already got the Uther and maybe draw them the Norse Dormu, you can do that, and it'll put all that towards the top of your deck. So
yeah, I've just realized it's a super low to the ground curve.
I mean, it's meant to just be able to dump everything out as quick as possible. Historically, in these Uther type decks, you end up running into hand space management issues.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's because you have such key integral parts of your combo and you don't have a lot of cheap stuff to just dump. Well, this doesn't have that problem.
Yeah. This looks pretty solid, actually. It looks good. Let me ask you, is there anything else that is I don't know, I guess important about this deck that you wouldn't, like synergies or whatever, that you wouldn't see just based on like looking at it first pass?
The most important thing I see is don't rule out using Nosedorm early.
Okay.
'Cause a lot of people are really worried about giving that much because it resets your mana to 10, but your opponent gets the first turn of that.
Right.
So that looks real daunting, but you want to make sure you have some way to, like, maybe you have your Barov in hand and a Wild Pyro. And remember, you'll have 10 mana to counteract whatever they did with 10 mana. So you're, in a way, you're on even footing there. If you have a timeout in hand, who cares how much they put down? You can just time out.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to dump that Nosdormu. You want to be mindful of, if I play this Nosdormu, how do I stop their best case scenario the next turn? But if you can meet that qualification, then don't be afraid to throw the Nosdormu down, especially if you have either Polkelt or Uther the Ebon Blade, because Polkelt will give you Uther the next turn.
Right.
Sweet. I want to play.
Fun fact, our logo is loosely based on like Nosdormu, the Timeless, or like an Amber Watcher. So have extra love for the Paladin dragons.
Yeah, I love Uther. Uther is my favorite character in the game. I love the skits they've done with him.
Uther gets it.
Uther gets it, and that's my favorite thing with
those commercials were so good.
Uther gets it.
I forgot that's what you're talking about. They should do more of those. That's so funny.
I just love the depiction of Uther because I've been a big fan of Uther since the old Warcraft days. So
yeah.
I got into Hearthstone thinking I would be a big Rexar fan, and then just fell in love with just Uther.
Did you play Warcraft 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I'm an OG here.
I love that game, but man, Uther, he's such a good guy, but yeah. He met his demise. Spoiler alert.
My favorite depiction of Uther is him scolding Anduin when Anduin's a little kid.
Oh yeah.
In the World of Warcraft, at more Pandaria age. But yeah, Uther's he's just. I want to be Uther. He's just such a cool, chill.
I love it.
Good Arthas.
Oh dear.
And Goliath chat. I love Leadrin too. Leadrin is usually my portrait. Whenever I play non-mech paladin, because if you're playing mech paladin, you have to play a Noyo bot, right?
Suranoyo.
Suranoyo, yeah. Hello.
Next, and you're not Suranoyo doing it. But yes, I mean, at the time, Leadrin.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah, we got Goliath the dwarf. Yeah, talking in chat here. I actually want to shout him out super quickly because he did release a new traversing Azeroth.
We forgot to talk about that in the news.
On Out of Cards today, about 3 hours ago. It went live. It's called Undeath and Necromancy: The Story of the Scourge and the Forsaken.
Ooh.
So everybody can check that out on outofcards.com.
It's
out
of dot cards.
Out of dot cards. So we should probably link that.
I'll do that. I'll add that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm adding it to my notes here. Yeah, I'm excited. And actually, since we're on the topic, last time we did a lore episode, it was super fun. And the reaction that we got was very, very, very good. Everyone loved it. And so we're having Goliath back next week to talk more lore.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. We've been talking about doing the lore behind Ashes of Outland just because we missed it, and there's a lot of awesome lore there, especially for the primes. Some really cool stories there. And
yeah, especially Zixor. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, there's some good stuff. So that'll be a lot of fun. Anyways. Yeah. But yeah, I'll link the article for sure.
Out of dot cards.
I'm hyped for that. Yeah, that Zixor Prime backstory, so cool.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm not familiar with that stuff, and unfortunately, like I never played any of the WoW games. I played Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2. I started playing Warcraft 3 and never finished it. And I bought the recrafted or remastered version or whatever, and I started it, and it's really fun, but I'm not very far into it yet. But anyways, the lore is so much fun. So
yeah, it's part of the reason why I love Paladin so much. It's just the characters have so much story to them. Even Suranoyo, there's just story to those characters. Just to me, they have more character than a lot of the other classes heroes do.
Yeah,
I like it. I can appreciate that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Well, for those of you who are listening to the audio version of this podcast, something that we have done with this show is to do a co-op version or kind of a second half or second part, if you will, of the show where we take the deck that we have discussed on the show and we play it afterwards with the three of us plus our guest. We talk through all of our plays and kind of, the philosophy is that it's one thing to talk about the deck, but it's something else entirely to play it. And so we do these live on Twitch as part of the show. They're not released with the audio portion, but we release them later on YouTube. So if you're listening to the audio version of this, please check it out. And I'm very, very excited to play this Uther OTK deck tonight after the show.
Oh, so yeah.
Should be super fun. Do you guys have any other questions or comments or anything you want to chat about before we sort of start to wrap things up?
Yeah. For me, I never watched him before, so I was new to watching Raffle, but I hung out in the living room today, eating lunch, and I put him on the Apple TV.
Oh man,
the Twitch app.
He's good people.
Yeah, so he was playing this cool idea where he adds a lot of soul shards to his deck. He's playing Warlock, and then he'll add extra cards to his hand, and then he plays Renounced Darkness. And I saw some pretty intense, pretty crazy games today, and I just wanted to shout him out because it was my first time watching him. I know he's like super popular and he's out there, but I haven't like taken time to sit down and watch Hearthstone YouTube in a while, or Hearthstone streamers in general. But decided to check out Raffle today, and he played some pretty cool Renounced Darkness decks.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We had him on Into the Wild at least 3 times. I'll
Nice.
see if I can talk him into coming on the show sometime. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he seemed pretty cool.
He's super chill. He's also a really good player, and to be able to, I don't know, very good deck builder, very good player, and it's amazing that you can rank up with like essentially what are most people would call like meme decks, you know. So
Well, yeah, when I saw him renounce darkness into Demon Hunter cards, I was like, "Oh my goodness, bro!" Like, it was awesome. Like twin slices and like altruist, and oh, so gross.
Twin slice baby.
Oh yeah,
bum 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 ba da da dum.
yeah.
Twin slice baby.
Oh, good times, good times.
Good
All right.
times.
Well, let's then sort of start the kind of sign off portion. And Zerotio, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for spending the evening with us. It's
my pleasure.
It's really great to have you on to chat with you. And I was really excited about tonight's show. I think we talked about some subject matter that was actually really, really deep. I mean, just with, I don't know, a lot of the more like philosophical portions of this game, how to improve as a player. And I think that those kind of tidbits of knowledge are very, very valuable for the listeners, but also for us. And I think that I'll take a lot of that to heart. I'm sitting at like Diamond 3 right now, and I'm trying to make that legend push over the weekend, and so now it's time to get serious, to turn off the Netflix and actually pay attention to the games. And so I will be taking your advice to heart, but I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us tonight. So thank you very much.
It was definitely my pleasure. Obviously, you were one of our early guests in Hero Power, so you have a special place. And
Aww.
And Mike Lowe was one of our first Patreon followers, and
Mike
Power, and was one of the first vocal members of our community to kind of back us and steer people towards Hero Power as a resource.
Nice.
And yeah, I really
Thank you.
appreciate that. And it's an honor to be on this show and be included in this wild community, which I've always kind of secretly been part of. But obviously, I do a standard Hearthstone podcast. It's not focused on wild. We occasionally play wild on Hero Power.
Sure.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
the majority of players play standard, so we cater to that.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. So question for you, where can folks find you if they're looking to listen to your show or watch your show or interact with you online somehow?
The best way to reach me specifically on Twitter is I'm at Zerotio. That's Zerotio on Twitter. I do occasionally stream around set releases at twitch.tv/Zerotio, but all of our content for Hero Power can be reached at heropowerhs.com, and our YouTube channel is at our production youtube.com/ECMMO Gamers. That's the production company that runs Hero Power. But like I said, if you go to heropowerhs.com, it'll take you to everything.
Cool.
Very, very cool. All right. How about you guys? Hydra, where can people find you?
Well, you can always find me here every single Friday at 6 p.m. PST for the Born to Be Wild podcast. And you can find me on Twitch for my personal stream at Hydralisk_HS, and Twitter the same Hydralisk_HS.
Very, very cool. Mike, what about you? Where can people find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me here every Friday night, except birthdays and holidays and paid vacations and benefit packages from Nate. You can find me at Mike Low TV on Twitter and Twitch. Looking to get more streams in. I'm loving Wild. I'm glad that Dark Lair is gone. So my mood has definitely changed for the better to play more, because I definitely want to play, and that deck was impressive. So find me there.
Very cool. Very cool. As for me, I'm most active on Twitter. Not really on any of the other social medias, but you can find me on Twitter at NateWolfTCG. It's NateWolfeTCG. More importantly, you can find the show. Similar to what Zerotio was saying, all of our things, we have YouTube, we have Discord, we have all of the stuff, but the easiest place to find it all is at our website, which is borntobewildhs.com. We joke about this every week, but you have to include the HS at the end, otherwise you are in for a surprise. So borntobewildhs.com. We have a very, very thriving Discord community. It is so much fun interacting with people, sharing deck lists, sharing funny stories, and I would encourage any of you who are interested in interacting with other Wild players to join. Zero drama, all fun. You can find the link to it on our website. Also, if you guys are interested in supporting us, one of the greatest ways that you can support us financially is to buy some merch. If you go to our website, you can get t-shirts and other stuff. The t-shirts turned out incredibly good, and big thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Wildcard, who are running our merch shop for us and have done a phenomenal job with the printing. If you are interested in supporting the show in a non-financial way, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or go onto iTunes or one of the other podcast apps and leave a review. Would be very, very helpful. We'd appreciate that. If you'd like to interact with us anyway, again, I would send you off to the website on the Discord, or you can always email us or something like that. So anyways, we love hearing from people. We love having a good time with you. Some of the topics of the show that came up tonight were conversations that initially started off in the Discord. And so I don't know, we have a lot of fun. It's a pretty low key show. But we don't take ourselves too seriously. We have a great time, and we appreciate, I love hanging out with you guys every week. It's what I look forward to the most. And,
same here.
So, in wrapping up the show, we have a little bit of a tradition, and hopefully you guys can hear it this time.
And now, unrelated advice with Nate Wolf.
Nate, you're muted.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Can you hear me now?
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 Yeah.
It's the settings on this little sound pad app, because it won't let me. I checked the box to not let my microphone take over when something is playing.
We're learning. It's okay.
We're learning. It's okay. Okay. Yeah. So with all the fires going on in Oregon right now, the air is very smoky and yucky outside, and I do not want to leave the house. I will be inside, managing to keep myself busy somehow all weekend. I'm asking for advice from you guys. What do you guys do to occupy your time during the weekend? Hydra, go.
Well, this weekend I'm definitely going to play Hearthstone, but you could totally go with the theme and play Stealth Rogue, because they're all hiding behind smoke. So play stealth rogue.
Man.
Hey, what is that game that you were telling me about that you and your wife were playing?
Oh, you mean the
one.
Among Us game?
No, I would know the beat one, the old the retro game with the music.
Oh my gosh! Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have to open Steam to look at the stupid name of it. It is amazing. Okay, so I am not one to play just some random Steam game or whatever, but I was watching a guy. I'm gonna shout him out. His name is Jomo, and I found him actually through Rod Johnson. Everybody knows Rod, Pog Rod. And he introduced me to this one streamer named Jomo who actually lives in Vancouver, and he was playing this game. Now I'm trying to find it. It was so cool. It's like a temple run sort of game, except for it is the most exciting experience ever with the music, and it's super 3D. I'm trying to find it. I think my wife deleted it off Steam. I'm looking for it right now.
Oh no, you can't leave us like this.
No, I found it. Okay, it is called Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Oh, it has wild in the name.
Wild Hearts. Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Nice.
So it's a story about a girl, and she is either riding a skateboard or riding a motorcycle or doing whatever. And these levels are not just going down a straight track. These things are it's also time based, it's rhythm based, and the graphics and the timing and the music all it's just beautiful. It's actually a beautiful game. So if you have $5 or whatever it costs, or what was it, 14? I think it was $14.
I think it was $15 on Steam.
Yeah, it is really, really cool. And it's so funny because my wife, she isn't a PC gamer by any means. She likes to sit on her couch and play on the Nintendo. And I made the mistake of letting her actually play on my computer, play this game. It was a bad idea because she's like, oh, I like this. I'm going to sit here and play this all the time. And I wake up in the morning and she's sitting at my computer playing.
Damn, now you gotta get your own.
This game. And no, it's a beautiful game. It's highly recommended. It's not long, but it's more independent, and the art is just amazing, and I support it. It's great.
Send me the link when you get a chance, or the name again, and I'll post it up. So
Sayonara Wild Hearts is what it's called. But yeah, I can send you a link and the name to it.
Cool. Mike, what about you?
So now that things have switched up, I was going to suggest a brand new activity because I have time this weekend too. And if you have time, maybe we can find some other people in Discord and we could do some friend lobbies and jump in Discord voice.
Oh, some dude, we could play Battlegrounds together.
Yeah, 8 people.
Ooh, I like it.
Because I definitely want you to be safe. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to stay inside and stay out of the smoke and, you're going to be inside and you got time, that could definitely be an activity.
Oh, all right. Very cool. I appreciate that. Zerotio, what about you? What advice you got for me?
So I had some great advice, but I'm going to steal Mike Lowe's because, Battleground lobbies. That's what I would do, especially because there's new heroes out in Battlegrounds. And
there's 3 new heroes. Yeah,
they have really unique. A lot of them have really unique hero powers that only cost 0 gold, which means you can pretty much fit them in every turn. So I would say play the new heroes in Battlegrounds, and when you do, don't forget to use your hero power.
There it is.
Wiser words were never spoken. You heard that on Born to be Wild.